Hey guys, here's some details on my Walker riserless core retrofit. This is the original concept design with bells on either side of the core and a toggle shutoff. The drawing doesn't show, but the center position for the horizontal bar would have both shutoffs open. And here's the old lopi, the place where the Walker core will be going, and removing the lopi. Here I used ratchet straps to advance it down this ramp. This thing's really heavy. And here you can see how little strength it takes to lower this down onto the dollies with the leverage of these long 4x4s. And surprisingly, just these couple boards were heavy enough to provide the counterbalance weight while I slid the stove over, centered on the dollies. And it's not leaving deep scratches in the floor. And of course I couldn't pass up the opportunity to light up a fire in the Rumford before closing it all off. And man, this thing really put out a good amount of heat. The back wall would still be warm in the morning. You could really feel the heat if you're just walking across the room. A great big fire like that's so enjoyable it was almost difficult to close the opening. Here I'm taking measurements of the inside of the chimney. The tape measure's folded over at the top because the 8-foot height is higher than the ceiling. It's shown in the sketch, and the overlay is pretty accurate to scale. You can see that tape measure folded over would end up at the same height as my 8-foot mark. So the actual chimney starts over 8 feet off of the firebox floor. It's 13.5-inch square and runs up through the second story. And there's another fireplace up there with its own chimney that's connected to the same mast that rises right up through the heart of the house. And I expect that Satimax will be suggesting that I put a plunger tube down the chimney, so this whole cavity is a bell. And yes, I want to do that. Meow. Meow. Here we'll see each course of brick mocked up. It's the hard fire brick splits for the base, insulating fire brick base, they're 3-inch thick. And the walls, port, another layer, ceiling, and the final layer where the cooktop will be. And satisfied with the dry fit, I stuck them together with a clay slip. The clay slip set really quickly. You only get a couple seconds to nudge them around until they set in place. So I figured I'd test the draft to put a piece of sheet metal, some mail, and an insulating fiber board to attempt to close off the rest of the opening from the old Rumford. Let's see how it works. Ooh. Even with all the gaps around the opening, it's got a pretty good draft. Here's a ball of paper on the other bell's exit. You can see the light flickering from behind that insulating fiber board with a level trying to help close off the openings. Still has good draft. Here's a little demo of the toggle shutoffs. Just got a concrete anchor bolt right in the middle. Just pivots back and forth, sliding on these rails. Again, when that's in the center position, both bells are open. There's no setting for both closed. I figure it'll either be heat one bell than the other, or maybe it could be tuned so whichever one is dominant is closed a little bit and they both get heat evenly. This is 1.5" angle iron for a frame that will hold the cooktop. And here's my first ever weld. Not too bad. After just a couple practice tack welds on some scraps. Here's the 1/4" plate I cut the top surface out of and inside the frame. And here's that test burn video again. And Siri says it's bedtime, but that doesn't work for me right now. And I do have a 3" ceramic tube for the secondary air. But I also have a steel one, which I'll probably end up using. Not sure if that ceramic will really get hot enough, quick enough. But that part can be played with and altered at any time, even after the stove is finished. Then I also got some ITC 100, which is a coating that reflects heat, and so I'll paint that on the inside of the firebox and riser once I'm happy with the build in general. But that's it for now. I'll be sure to post updates as they come. So thanks for watching, and thanks to everybody who freely shares their information so people like me can build cool stuff like this.